in Tussle there were rats. It was just so loud and I would just like wake up to it all the time. Okay, wow, there's construction outside that's really noisy and I really hope that you guys can hear me. But one of the biggest things for me, oh, this is so loud. So I'm back. And like I said before, I was rudely interrupted. I'm gonna talk to you guys about my first year experience. So, you know, in the first week, that week was just like me kind of making sure my room was comfy, going out a little bit with my flatmates just to, you know, meet people. But to be honest, the people that you meet within your first week or the first few weeks, you're not gonna remember like half of them, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, everybody starts by saying like, oh hey, what's your name, how are you, what accommodation are you in, what are you studying, and so you tell people what you're studying, your accommodation and everything, and then you guys part ways and never see each other again, like ever. So yeah, I wouldn't waste my time doing that again. I would just get to know a few people in your course so that, you know, you're not like super lonely going to lectures. Even though now like in my second year, I do my lecture and then leave, and then I just meet my friends after class. So you can do that too. It really depends on, you know, how you like to do things, I guess. You don't necessarily have to have friends in your course. The majority of my time was spent with my flatmates. Even now, I mean, I'm living with different people, but I spend most of my time with my flatmates. Or, you know, I'm the type of person that really prefers alone time. Like, I do enjoy spending time with people, but I can't do it like for so long. Like, I still need to go back to my room and like, you know, relax, do my own thing. So yeah, first year, if I'm gonna be honest, I really experienced a lot of things in first year, just like emotionally, mentally, and maybe even physically. But it wasn't the best experience for me, just because I made some personal choices. Like, there were just certain experiences that I had that made me not want to join societies, and I didn't really, I mean, I know that you can join societies without having to join all like the drinking and everything, but there were just no societies at the time that I was interested in. Like, the society that I'm in now, Warwick Calisthenics, is something that I'm interested in, and it only came about, or like because it's a new society, I only joined in my second year, and I don't regret it at all. But I mean, even if I think back to first year, like, would I have joined any society? I don't think so, just because as an international student, I'm only going to be here for like three years. So I don't know how to explain it, but I am not the type of person that likes to do things that I don't like to do just for the sake of socializing. And that goes for like, you know, like partying, drinking alcohol, like those kind of things. I enjoy going to the clubs, like dancing and stuff, but I've, you know, like experienced panic attacks when I drank, like back in Singapore. And so I decided like, okay, you know, I'm not going to be drinking when I'm overseas. Not to mention, like, I kind of want to be in control of my body and my mind when I'm in a foreign place. And you know, I'm just the type of person that I'd rather go there and take care of people than to like go there and wake up the next day in some other place. I rather make sure that I'm safe and that my friends are safe. But also, like, okay, being that person, I enjoy being safe, but I don't necessarily enjoy like kind of like, you know, when your friends get way too crazy, way too drunk, and then I just get annoyed. Like I'm just like, this is just annoying. Okay, like I go to the club also to have fun. I also want to like dance and enjoy myself while still being conscious of my surroundings. So yeah, and also like you really do need to be careful, or at least make sure that there's someone there who you know is reliable, because you know the number of times that people have hit on my friends, and it's not even like subtle or anything, it's just like they really try, you know. And then if your friend is really drunk, like my friend was, like you know, she's not comfortable in those kind of situations, so she's just like, I was not sure what she was trying to signal to me. Like she was dancing with the guy, but then also like being like no, but then after a while she seemed like she was like enjoying it, and I was just like, I really don't know. And so I just like pulled her away, and she was like, yeah, I didn't want to be there at all. Like I was like, but okay. But I was just so confused like with the signals and stuff. But yeah, and then there was another time where there was this girl outside of a club, and her friends asked if we could bring her back because we were gonna bring one of our friends back as well. She vomited in the club and got kicked out, so we were gonna bring her back in an Uber, and these two girls approached us and asked if we could take her friend back, and we were like, okay, like as long as she's not like throwing up, and you know, like I don't want any puke on me. So, but I mean honestly, even if she did, I would have probably still brought her back. Yeah, but after a while, I mean she still looked like she was conscious like when we agreed to bringing her back, but after a while she just started blacking out, falling all over the place, and I was just like, okay, like. So anyway, we brought her back, and she was like in and out of it, and she was throwing up on my friend. And the other thing is that she wouldn't tell us where she stayed. So you know how Warwick gives keys to your accommodation? She had it on her wrist, and she stayed in Roots, so we had to like go to every single door and try to open every single door, and we didn't know, well, like, because I went with this other girl to go and look for her room, and we didn't know that when it turned green, it doesn't only turn green when you open your door, it also turns green if someone doesn't lock their own door. So we had to go through a lot of doors, and the first time we opened this door with this guy sleeping, and we're like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like, because like in the beginning we thought, oh my god, we found her room, like, you know, but we didn't. So thank god she had like pictures of herself and her friends like on her wall, so we knew that it was her room. So we brought her back, and yeah, the point of that whole long story is that, you know, you need to be careful, and you know, if we weren't there to bring her back, you know, there are a lot of things that can happen when you are that drunk, and there are a lot of people who would take advantage of you. So you just have to be like really careful about those kind of things. The other thing is, the reason why I was really kind of put off of like circling, basically circling is like where you sit in a circle, you drink drinks and whatever, right, play games, whatever. But the first time I experienced it, I didn't have a good experience, just because like it seemed like I was in like some kind of cult or something. And this happened during one of the okay, maybe I shouldn't say this, but anyway, I just didn't really like circling because I felt like I was forced to drink. And my point is, which I didn't participate in drinking, because I just really detest when people force others to do things. It's like, it's just one of those things that really gets on my nerves. It's like nobody should be able to force you or coerce you or talk you into doing something that you're not comfortable with, and it's something as simple as drinking. Like if you're not comfortable with drinking too much, or you're not comfortable with even drinking at all, just tell them. Like, don't be scared that you're gonna lose a friend that doesn't even care about your well-being, doesn't even care that you don't want to do something. So yeah. Okay, so and then the other thing is racism does exist. Okay, like and you're not gonna, or at least I didn't experience it overtly. There was no overt racism, like, but it does exist and you do see it. There is also a lot of subtle racism. It's kind of like, if you're not looking for it, you're not gonna see it. But if you're observant, or like if you're sensitive to those kind of things, you're going to observe it and you're going to realize that it's happening. In my first year, honestly, I didn't experience that much. I only experienced it like outside of the university. I didn't experience it while I was in university. But in my second year, I definitely did, and it honestly, okay, this is why it's difficult to talk about it, because you can experience it from your friends, and you know, they may not even know that they're doing it, and even if they know, they may think that it's like a joke, that it's funny, and it's not. But you know, you do have to deal with those kind of things. And as an international student, you are going to have cultural differences. You guys are just not going to be on the same page all the time. So the other thing is, you guys should definitely check out the Warwick Fashions page, because it's pretty interesting. I mean, don't let that page be a representation of all the people at Warwick, because it's only a small percentage of people who are posting on these things. So you know, if you do see posts about, you know, there was a period of time where there were a lot of posts about international students and basically, you know, just not so nice things about international students. But I mean, it's kind of like a normal thing at Warwick, I would say, that not everybody is going to view you in a positive way, right? So yeah. In terms of like academics, the exams for me, it was the most stressed that I've ever been. Personally, I feel like IB was much easier in terms of the approach in answering questions, in studying for the exams. Like at university, you do have to do a lot of your own independent research. You do have to form a lot of your own opinions. Or not just opinions, but you do need to see like the bigger picture and not just like read your textbook and think that that's it. So yeah, and also I got the worst advice in my first year. Somebody told me, and I believed it, somebody told me that, what did they say? They said that, oh, just take it easy in your first year. Like first year is the time to like whatever, right? So basically just not care so much about your studies. And if you're doing law, do not take that advice. Care about your studies, at least do the bare minimum, so that you know, you're not like stressing out at the end when your exams are there. And if you're someone like me that gets overwhelmed super easily, don't do that. Just stick to your own like work ethic. If you know that working a certain way works for you, then just do that. Don't listen to, I mean, I know I'm giving you guys advice now, but basically the advice is to just like follow whatever you've already been doing and tweak it along the way based on what you're comfortable with. I mean, a lot of people tell me like, oh, I have this friend that didn't even study and did super well. Okay, well, I'm not that kind of person. Okay, like, so yeah, just do you. And the other thing is accommodation. Like, my first choice was Bluebell, but honestly the reason why is because I was kind of afraid to share a toilet with, especially, you know, if you're in a mixed, like, you know, like mixed dorm. How would you say this? Like, the reason why I wanted an ensuite was because I didn't want to share toilets with guys. You know, like, things are private, and you know, you hear all these things, like, there is reason to be paranoid. Okay, sorry my camera died, but yeah, so I didn't get Bluebell, but I got Tossil, and it's not ensuite, but I was fine with it because it was an all-girls flat. Yeah, but honestly, being in an all-girls flat was really, I enjoyed it. The only thing is, okay, when it comes to these kind of things, you have people from different countries, different cultures, and you have to understand that not everybody is brought up the same way. People do make mistakes, even though it can be kind of disgusting. Like, for me, I'm like a really, like, I like things to be in like a certain way, you know, like, but I don't impose it on anybody. Like, okay, I'm that crazy person that had a trolley. Okay, I'm saying it as if there are a lot of people like this. Okay, I don't think there are a lot of people like this, but I had a trolley with all like my cooking stuff and everything, which I would bring back to my room because I didn't want anybody to touch it. I didn't want anybody to use it and leave it in the sink and, you know, like, collect all the dirt and everything. So yeah, but when it comes to like toilets, okay, a lot of times you do hear things about, like, you know, people missing their forks, missing their stuff, but you're not gonna have to worry about that if you just keep it in your room. Okay, so yeah, I don't regret having to move all my stuff back and forth, because, you know, you're coming out of your room anyway, so you might as well just bring your cooking stuff with you, and then you're going back to your room, just bring it back with you. So yeah, the other thing is like toilets. You know, at that time of the month, don't leave it lying around. Yeah, sometimes we have those kind of incidents where people don't exactly know how to clean up after themselves, and so, you know, don't be like overly dramatic about it, even though when you see it you're like, what the f? But when you're like addressing the situation, just address it nicely. Like, you don't want to cause any friction with people in your flat just because, like, come on, like, you're gonna live with them for the whole year. Just be friendly, and I'm sure people don't do this on purpose. Like, everybody is away from their home, so you just try to be understanding. And, you know, if you're gonna approach them like really aggressively and stuff, you know, it's kind of uncomfortable for everybody in this situation. But yeah, so okay, there was this one situation where I was so mad. I was really so mad, like, because my parents came over and we prepared a lot of food. I spent a long time preparing this food. I put it in a slow cooker, and somebody decided to turn it off. And you know how slow cookers work, right? So, you know, if you turn it off, it's not going to be cooked. But basically, someone turned off my slow cooker and I didn't realize, and so I tasted the soup, which had like raw meat in it. Okay, I'm so freaking glad that I didn't you know, get any like stomach ache or anything. And it was kind of expensive, like the ingredients that I put in it. So I was just really upset, and yeah, I had to like throw everything out because it was obviously bad. I don't know, that was just so irritating. Also in Tossil, there were rats. It was just so loud, and I would just like wake up to it all the time, and we had to report it, but they never really got it fixed. I'm not even sure if it's fixed now, but there were rats. Okay, it was disgusting. You're not gonna see, I mean, I didn't see the rats myself, but I could hear them really loud. In the beginning, I thought it was just somebody like moving their furniture around. Like, that's how loud it was. I thought somebody was moving the furniture around, and then I looked outside my flat and I was like, wait, there's nobody above me, because like I was on the second floor, but there are 3 floors, but the house is kind of like this, and I was on this part. So I was like, holy shit, like Okay, yeah, so there were a lot of things like that. There was also a huge SB, which I don't even know how it got into my room, because I don't open my windows because there are always like ladybugs and all that fly into my room that I really don't like, so I don't open the window. But there was this huge SB, like I was calling my friend on Skype, and it was just so loud. Like I heard it first before I saw it, and it was just so loud and buzzing everywhere, and I was just like screaming and like, I never set foot on my bed unless I'm showered. And that day I just jumped on my bed because I was like, what? Like it was so big, like it was like this big. Okay, I'm not even joking. And so yeah, well, we took care of it. And there was just also like, try not to get injured or sick while you're at university, because when I got an allergic reaction, which I've never gotten before, it was the worst. That's why I say that my first year was not the best, because there were just so many events that just made me like feel like, what the hell, what did I do in my previous life that resulted in me having to go through these things. Okay, so I had this allergic reaction which made me look, seriously, I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like honestly. And I've never experienced this before. It was just a really scary experience. Thank God that my friend was there to like be there with me, accompany me to the hospital and everything, because without her, oh my god, I don't even know what I would have done. Honestly, I would have just stayed in my room and like just freaked out the whole time, and then probably not get any better, probably die, honestly. But because I was having difficulty breathing as well because of the allergic reaction, and I had like hives all over my body, it was really hot and itchy as well. And the campus security responded quick but didn't really help, just because they told us like, you know, they can call the ambulance for us, or we can just get our own Uber, which would be faster. So in the end, we just got our own Uber, and they could have just told me on the phone, but they didn't. So I mean, it's fine, whatever. And we waited at the hospital for like 4 hours before they really like attended to us. We had to wait another like 2 hours for them to give me medication. They also drew my blood. When she was trying to draw my blood, she couldn't draw enough blood, so she pushed it all back in to my arm. And I was honestly stunned because it happened so fast and I didn't expect that to happen. And so she tried to go and like draw blood from the other arm. It started overflowing. Like, you know where she pushed it back in, that arm, it started overflowing with blood. And my friend was like, is that supposed to happen? And I was just looking at it like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna die here. Like, honestly. And then she's like, oh no, that's not supposed to happen. She just brings me to the sink, washes it off, and puts another band-aid on me. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best experience. Yeah. Also, okay, if you're dealing with mental health issues while you're at university, like what I do is that when I feel some type of way or I'm going through something, I stay in my room or go to the gym, depending, and I try my best to not let it affect my interaction with other people. So I really try to manage it on my own, in my own room. And then when I'm feeling better, then I come out. If I'm feeling some type of way for a period of time, I try to come out of my room and try to, you know, like interact, because sometimes that can help you. I mean, don't be afraid to get help also. I'm not really a fan of setting appointments, especially here in the UK, just because I feel like they may not understand like what I'm going through. You know, don't ignore your mental health while you're at university. Because I deal with my mental health in a certain way, and I have been dealing with it for a long time already, so I kind of know like how to deal with it. I know that, you know, certain times I'm gonna feel like this, and it's okay. I will just do what I gotta do to like cope with it. There will be things that trigger you, okay? Like there are things that people have said that have triggered me and really made me like basically the topic just came up and I was triggered. Maybe I do disclose, you know, that I have depression and anxiety, and there will be people who don't believe you and make you even more mad because they don't believe like the struggles that you've been through. But seriously, just like, you know, when I'm in that situation where people are like, someone told me people with depression and anxiety won't tell you that they have depression and anxiety, and I'm just like, you don't even know, okay? Like it just makes me so mad. Like, you know, when people try to invalidate you, it just makes me so mad. But you know, they're my friends. I don't expect everybody to understand, and not everybody's gonna understand, so you kind of just like, okay, you acknowledge that this person doesn't get it, and then you just move on. You just realize that, okay, this friend is just not someone you talk to about these kind of issues because they cannot empathize and they can't sympathize. So don't talk to them about it anymore because it will just only aggravate you even more. So yeah. Okay, so my advice is to find something that you enjoy so that you can join a society, because it really does make you feel a lot more integrated into university, which I didn't feel much of in my first year. But being in a society really did help me feel more a part of the university. And also you get to meet people from different cultures, which can really, you know, like open your eyes. Okay, also like, I think I've said a lot of bad stuff, but your flatmates can be really nice. Like I really loved my flatmates, like, and I loved meeting people from different cultures, and my flatmates were extremely inclusive, so it made it a good environment, basically. I wanted to say something, but then I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, right. Okay, so as an international student, when I went back to Singapore, I felt that I noticed a lot of things that I didn't notice before. I appreciated a lot of things that I didn't appreciate before. And also, you kind of get a culture shock when you go back to Singapore. Like, I mean, when I went back to Singapore, I got a culture shock. I was like, oh, like, everything is even more pronounced than it was before. Like, the Singaporean accent became even more pronounced. And then you go back to the UK later on and you're like, ooh, like, you know, there is this kind of like, you can see the difference, basically. It's like good and bad stuff that you see on both sides. When I got there and, you know, started to like create my bank account and do those kind of things, I realized that the speed of processes can be very different from where you're from. Like in Singapore, everything is like, we're really impatient, so you know, things got to be done like quick, and we expect things to be done extremely quickly, which is not always the case, and it's not the working culture in the UK. Like, not everything is going to be done quick, and you just kind of have to get used to the differences. Yeah, I mean, for me, because I'm someone who I like to be familiar with things, I don't always like change, but you grow as a person when there is change. And I think that studying overseas really does give you a perspective that you would never have gotten if you didn't study overseas. I think that's it. Oh, wait, let me talk about food first, okay? Like, learn to cook, okay? Learn to make your own food, because it's gonna be a lot cheaper, and also you're probably gonna enjoy it more if you know how to cook the food that you're used to eating back at home. Because I would say that personally, the food on campus is not for me. The only food that I really like on campus though is like
you could do so
what am I saying? The cafe library. I'm not sure if that's what it's still called. I don't know. Their fries, their fish and chips I love it. Okay, I know some people don't like it, but I really like it. The fish and chips and also the chips and the chicken, like those are pretty good. It's honestly not bad. But in my first year, I didn't even eat out at all, like at all. The only time I ate out was at this one place which closed down and I would never go to again because it was not good. But yeah, after that experience I was like, nope, I'm cooking every single day. So that's what I did. But in my second year, because you're living off campus, you can't like go back for lunch and like, you know, like it's just too much work and it's too time consuming. So I just eat on campus for lunch. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Or if you guys like this video, I don't even know why I'm talking like this. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, remember to subscribe. I usually do like fitness content, but I will be putting out different types of content because, you know, I don't only just like fitness, I like other things as well. So yeah, I will be doing that. So yeah, subscribe for more content and like and comment down below if you guys want to ask anything and I would be happy to reply. So yeah, bye.
I'm the landscape you need to see.